Season 1 is here, and what's the best class to play? Well, I don't know. I hope it's a source, though, because I already made one, and I can't go back because I'm level 10. Because that would be going against my ninja way. But let's find out what actually is good, though.
Season 1 is here. You want to know what class to play. I'm going to keep it short and sweet and save you some time. First, if you want to know what I'm playing, I decided I hate living. So I'm going to be playing Necromancer in Season 1, even with the damage reduction nerfs.
Solid choice.
And I'm going to be playing Hardcore, and I'm going to be playing a Minion Thorn type of Necromancer build. I know it sounds stupid. If you want to watch me suffer, I will have my live stream.
I salute you because that is a bold move right there, not gonna lie.
Pinned in the comment as well as the description. Come on by and enjoy the misery. With all that being said, let's talk about the real winners and losers when it comes to picking your class. Now,
let's go.
There's a few things we need to keep in mind when we are talking about what class to play. First and foremost, the new patch notes. Now, if we go down and we actually look at the class patch notes, I'm not going to go through all this again, but I have already covered this. If you look at what they changed when it comes to the actual classes, some of the classes did better than the others. Barbarian got a pretty big nerf. Sorcerer got put into the dirt even though they were already in the dirt. Necromancer got a buff to minion.
That does not sound good for me, I'm not gonna lie. I'm already in the dirt. I was already in the dirt before being in the dirt. What am I supposed to now do?
And a nerf to Bone Spear, but Druid and Rogue came out smelling pretty good. They actually got the most minimal nerfs. Yes, Rogue got a Siphoning Strike nerf. The rest of it seems fine. And then Druid's main tornado build is still viable. So if you really want super ultra in-game, Druid's still perfectly fine for this. And if you want to play something fast and fun from the beginning, Rogue is still perfectly fine for this as of the patch notes. So that means right off the bat, if you're wanting to play something meta and good, basically there are two classes people are considering, the Druid and the Rogue. These are your two primary obvious picks.
That's sadly as far from the classes that I was gonna play first as honestly possible.
As of currently. Now, you might be wondering, well, that's great, but that's not even half the classes in the game. What about the other ones? What if I'm thinking about playing the other classes? Well, Bone Spear Necro got nerfed, so if you want to play Bone Spear Necro, it is factually worse than it was. However, it is still completely viable. People are still...
I mean, factually worse than it was. Oh no, you're still one-shotting everything but Uber Lilith? Oh no, the tragedy. Oh no, how will the Necro ever recover?
Still doing an absolute ton damage of it. Yes, it was a massive nerf. We're talking like half or something, okay? You can still kill Uber Lilith. You can still push Nightmare tier dungeons, etc. Here's the problem with it. The damage reduction nerfs from the patch notes and Necromancer not having much mobility, meaning not much avoidance, means you're going to really need to be careful if you decide to play Necromancer. Sorcerer has basically the same problem, which is extremely squishy. Sorcerer is basically not a class as of the moment. They have a really cool Caged Hearts, which is the next part of this we're going to talk about, all right?
What do you mean I'm not going to even be a class? By the way, my Sorcerer looks accidentally like the ultimate Karen. I'm not sure how I did that. I was going for something hot. But when I look at her at the front, aka the loading screens, because all of them are currently bugged. Thank you, Blizzard, by the way. 10 out of 10. New season launches. Game's bugged out again. Wow. I mean, Blizzard quality, am I right? But in any case, I made the Mega Karen. I don't know how. I don't know where I went wrong.
But they got a pretty hard nerf. Now, Barbarian is still totally viable. I'd say it's the middle one. I'd say it'd probably go like Druid best in-game, Rogue best early, Barbarian's kind of the middle, does all right, and then Necromancer probably following Barbarian, followed by Sorcerer after like 18 levels of pavement. Then there's the Sorcerer. That's kind of my breakdown if you just want a quick like 1, 2.
Is that the reason why I'm not seeing any Sorcerers in the world? I know they're not in dungeons because you literally cannot enter a dungeon and just boots you out for some stupid reason. Blizzard quality, boys. What can I say?
3, 4, 5. It would probably look like that. But Barbarian's still viable. Hoda had a major bug. So if you were playing the Hammer of the Ancients build on Barbarian and you were just slamming, one-shotting things and doing like 60 million damage, etc., the screenshots you see, that was a bug and it's been fixed. So a Hammer of the Ancients is going to feel factually worse. However, from what I'm seeing, they still seem totally viable. For instance, they got some buffs to things like double swing, rupture, and what have you. But if we want to do justice to thinking about what class we should play, we are going to need to look at the Malignant Hearts. Keep in mind there are 4 different types. There's the Vicious, Brutal, Devious, and Wrathful, meaning...
I got my first Vicious heart, by the way, on the swords. Not gonna lie, doesn't exactly seem that great.
Orange, blue, purple, and then this is a super powered one that goes in any of the sockets. There's corresponding jewelry for each one of these colors, so depending upon what you decide to run, which type of hearts, that is going to change maybe the type of build you do. Now, we can actually scroll down and see what these hearts are going to actually do. So if we look at these, I'm going to kind of skip through the Jimro ones, because there's 32 of these. But I think the way to look at this is look at the most fun one, which is Wrathful. So Wrathful is the super one for each class. You can kind of look at the Wrathful for each of these classes and basically see what you're aiming to acquire in terms of the super heart and use that to decide which one of the ones sounds the most fun for you and if you want to do it. Now, Barbarian has a incoming damage, has a chance of being ignored, instead healing you, Wrathful. So they get a
That's ridiculously OP.
defensive version of the Wrathful, which could actually be quite good considering that defensives are heavily nerfed going into Season 1. So if what
Yeah, if every class has, by the way, a defensive thing here, I'm assuming everyone's gonna go for the defensive. 15% chance to ignore any damage? Not gonna lie, kinda OP.
you want this to be a little bit more tanky, maybe one...
And it also heals you, which is even better technically. So effectively, if you're surrounded by a lot of small things, aka minuscule damage all over the place, this probably will unintentionally make you invulnerable. This is already my guess how it's gonna actually turn out. That this is not going to be too good for bosses or things that hit big with damage, but this is effectively literally immortality if you're surrounded by a lot of damage.
With Thorn build, then maybe the Barbarian. If we look at the Druid here, this is a... how to put this? This is a counter to CC. So if what you absolutely hate is the fact that you get frozen, feared, knocked down, etc., that's what their super does.
So they nerfed druids having perpetual, unstoppable, and now they gave it back in a form of a heart. Yeah, this is kind of what I expect from Blizzard, not gonna lie.
When you're hit by a stun, freeze, or knockdown effect, there's a 40 to 60 chance to automatically activate Grizzly Rage for 3 seconds. This could actually be quite good because not only does it counter it, but Grizzly Rage itself, okay, is going to give you unstoppable as well as give you massively increased damage for things like rampaging werebeast, etc., the werewolf ones, and for the storm tornado build. So if you want to do like a shape-shifting werewolf tornado build, this fits in very well, which also happens to be probably the strongest build. So Druid did pretty good in terms of the Caged Hearts. Necromancer, I think, is one that's kind of go under the radar a little bit. This is why I'm playing a Necromancer minion build. Each minion drains 1 to 2 essence per second, but deals 50 to 75% increased damage. With no minions, this instead applies to you and drains 5 essence per second. So even if you're not doing a minion build, you're going to get a massive ramping damage modifier. Okay, 50 to 75%. This is just across all damage in its entirety. So for that...
Yeah, there's no ramping. Interesting. Is there anything that can actually use this?
Reason Necromancer's damage is about to go woo, which is going to be a fun mechanic, in my personal opinion, from their Wrathful Super. So if that sounds interesting, then you're going to go Necromancer. Now, if you look at Rogue here, their Wrathful has a 5 to 15% chance to apply all imbuement effects at 40 or 50% of the normal potency. This is...
Yeah, literally don't know what imbuement effects actually means or does.
It's just your attacks, not your basic attacks. So all attacks. So if you want to be able to poison, shadow imbue, code enchantment, etc., if the consistent flurry of attacks and constantly having all of this ramping imbuement poison type of effects, code effects, shadow effects, if that sounds fun for you and the RNG of that sounds fun for you, then you're going to want to go Rogue. I actually think Rogue's going to be pretty good. This is actually a pretty good Caged Heart as well. So I think Rogue is right up there with Druid. I think it goes Druid and Rogue. If I had to pick like the top 2, I think that's what it is. And then we almost don't have to read the Sorcerer run because it's a Sorcerer class.
What do you mean?
Let's do it anyway. Core skills that launch a projectile consume all of your mana. For every 45 to 35 extra mana consumed, you launch an additional projectile and the damage is increased by 3 to 5.
I don't know how easy it is to actually generate mana because I don't know any legendaries, but... That doesn't seem bad because This is literally potentially like not double damage, not triple damage, but quadra or what's above quadra? Something above quadra damage. Potentially. And with Fireball, I'm pretty sure you can hit all of the Fireballs at once, for example. Frozen Orb, probably not that good from my experience currently with it. And, I don't know, doesn't seem that bad. This actually seems sleeper OP, if I'm being completely real. If it is possible to actually play around this. Interesting. What kind of mana regeneration we're talking about here, I wonder, because I haven't even read all the skills yet.
So you can see 3 to 5%, not a massive increase, okay, but you get an additional projectile. Meaning if you are shooting like Frozen Orb, you shoot 1 and you have 135 extra mana, then you're shooting 3 more extra one of these. It basically makes Sorcerer a little bit more bursty. This seems like kind of a fun mechanic, but you have to have the mana to do it, meaning that you're going to have to build good mana generation before this actually does anything. Whereas a lot of these other ones, like this is just, you just have to attack. Rogues is it's not how much essence you have or whatever, you just have to attack, okay? Necromancers is drained per second based upon essence, so...
I wonder how it's gonna work with Necro. Are people just actually gonna use the thing that increases your not core, but basic skill attack speed by 30%, and then they're like, pew, 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 and... Poof, then a bunch of bone spears. I wonder if people are gonna do that. It seems like a really good thing to add in the game as a thing that just exists in the game for the sake of it existing, because it's a nice thing. Maybe people find something good with it.
Oh, you're going to be lower on essence, and then the druids just happens, and the barbs just happens. That's why I like these ones a little bit more, because it's something that just happens. So how does that actually influence our class decision? If you're asking me, Druid number 1, Rogue number 2, Barbarian number 3, right next to Necromancer number 4. And this is mostly because Barbarian's going to be a lot tankier in a season where we need tank stats. Otherwise, the Necromancer would probably take 3 and then Barbarian 4. And then Sorcerer is like...
Literally, I am so shafted this season, it looks like. Because I believe him. He's gonna probably be right.
Number 9, somewhere between number 5 would be an elite minion. Number 6 would be, a weaker elite minion. Number 7 and 8 would be just normal mobs, and then number 9 would be your character Sorcerer. So that's how I feel about classes currently.
Even better. It just got so. Thank you for making my life is pain. We all know that.
At the moment, again, I'm going to be playing the Thorn minion build, basically. It's going to be terrible, and I'm going to love every second of it. So come by the live streams here. I will be live just after the posting of this video.
Honestly, sounds better than Source from what he said.
And if you notice, there's a Twitter link too. I can't tell you yet, but there's something big coming on my Twitter as of later today.
Only fans. Anyway, well, you know what is it? Oh no! Well, better get back to my miserable life of leveling a source. What can I say? This was Quizzer Sid said. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.